Tessa had always believed in fairy tales. She had planned every detail of her wedding: the white roses, the soft piano music, the long aisle she would roll down in her wheelchair, smiling at the man she loved. She had spent months convincing herself that Daniel saw her. Truly saw her, not just the chair, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. But on the morning of their wedding, Daniel left a note on her dressing table. It said he was sorry. It said he wasn't strong enough. It said goodbye. Her bridesmaids went silent. Her mother started crying. And Tessa, still in her wedding dress, asked everyone to leave the room. She didn't cry right away. She just sat by the window, watching the world move on without her, wondering what was broken inside her that made her so easy to leave. Her maid of honor wanted to cancel the venue, but Tessa shook her head. She asked to be taken there anyway. She didn't know why. Maybe she needed to see it. The place where her happiness was supposed to begin, just to make it real. The garden venue was quiet when she arrived. The chairs were still set up in neat rows. The flowers were still fresh. Everything was ready for a wedding that would never happen. Tessa rolled herself to the edge of the garden, away from the aisle, away from the altar, and stopped near a large oak tree. She stared at the empty seats and finally, alone, she let herself cry. She didn't hear him approach. She only noticed when a man sat down cross-legged in the grass, beside her wheelchair, not on a bench, not standing at a polite distance, but right there on the ground, at her level. He was wearing a slightly wrinkled dress shirt, like he had been somewhere formal and given up halfway. He had kind eyes and a calm face, and he didn't say anything for a long moment. Then he said, "I'm Malcolm. My daughter was the flower girl. She's been practicing for 3 weeks." Tessa blinked at him. He continued, "She cried when they said the wedding was off. I didn't know what to tell her." Tessa let out a sound that was halfway between a sob and a laugh. "I don't know what to tell her either," she whispered. Malcolm nodded seriously. "That's fair." He didn't ask what happened. He didn't offer pity or advice. He just sat there beside her, as if it were the most natural thing in the world to keep. A crying woman in a wedding dress company under an oak tree. After a while, Tessa asked why he hadn't left. He said, "Because you looked like someone who needed a person to stay." Those words broke something open in her chest. They talked for 2 hours. He told her about his daughter Lily, who was 6 and obsessed with frogs and drawing rainbows on everything she owned. He told her about losing his wife 3 years ago, not to another person, but to an illness that had moved too fast for anyone to fight. He said grief had taught him that the bravest thing a person could do was stay present when everything inside screamed to run. Tessa told him about her accident, about the years of rehabilitation, about learning to move through a world that was not always built for her, about Daniel and the note and the white roses going to waste. Malcolm listened to every word. He didn't flinch. He didn't offer solutions. He just listened like her story mattered, like she mattered. When the sun began to dip, Tessa's mother called and the moment shifted. Malcolm stood up, brushed the grass off his trousers, and looked at her with those calm, steady eyes. He said, "I know today was supposed to be the best day of your life. I know it wasn't, but I hope someday you'll think of it." As the day things finally started going right, he gave her his number, told her Lily would love to meet her, and walked away. He didn't make promises. He didn't make it into something dramatic. He was just honest and warm and real. They met for coffee 2 weeks later. Then Lily decided Tessa was her favorite person because Tessa always got down to her level, and something Lily found hilarious and magical. Months passed, and then a year. One quiet evening, Malcolm knelt beside Tessa's wheelchair in their kitchen, and he asked her a question. She said yes before he finished the sentence. Their wedding was small and full of laughter. Lily was the flower girl. She had been practicing for weeks, and this time the wedding happened. Every beautiful, imperfect, joyful second of it. True love doesn't always arrive on time. Sometimes it sits down beside you in the grass when everything has fallen apart, and it simply refuses to leave. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness True Stories, where we bring you stories that remind you humanity is still good, love is still real, and no one is ever truly alone.